Are you tired of scrolling through endless Reddit threads? Let us do the work for you. Join us down the Reddit hole and discover the best content of the day. In today's video, me and my sister used to be close, but when I was 5 and she was 7, I got sick until I was 15. Because I was sick, my parents often stopped her from doing normal things on my account. At first, I was okay with her doing kids stuff. But at one point, I got bitter and kind of guilt tripped my parents and her to let her stay with me. But I did that up until I was 12, after I noticed that it was leading to a strain in our relationship and her hating me. I tried to get back on her good side because she was no longer enthusiastic to stay with me like before. When we would play games and she would sing and do things with me, I tried to convince my parents to let her do stuff because she would come back from school, then spend 5 to 7 hours with me, then go home, and that cycle would repeat itself. But my parents still insisted on it and thought I was being brave, even though I would beg them to let her have a life. When I turned 15, I had surgery and was doing better, but I was still dealing with some side effects from the drugs I was taking. But that only lasted for a year. My parents had finally let her do things that she wanted to do. This was like midway through her junior year. But the damage was already done. She had stopped communicating with me and my parents. Like when we'd sit down to dinner and she'd only say one word to my parents and then lock the door to her room. And she did not have any friends, she told my aunt, and my aunt told my parents, because she was worried about her mental health. My parents tried to do family therapy before she left for college, but she still didn't communicate. She can literally spend a whole month without saying a word to anyone. When she went to college, she cut off our parents and me. She changed her number and everything. Last year, after doing some research, I found her on Instagram. She seemed much happier there, found out her university, and applied there. I wanted to rekindle our relationship, now that she seemed to be in a better mental space. Last semester, I contacted her through her university email and told her we could meet for coffee. She ignored all of my emails. This year, I decided to be more direct, so I went to her student organization and told her hi. She ignored me, but her friends asked who I was, and I told them I was her sister, and they seemed surprised because she didn't mention me. She then told me we should go to a cafe, and she chewed me out for picking this university. She referred to it as her safe place. I am now feeling like I may have gone about this the wrong way, but at the same time, I just wanted us to be close again. Am I the fool here? It's difficult to say if you are the fool in this situation, as it seems that there were many complex dynamics at play that may have contributed to the strain in your relationship with your sister. It's understandable that your illness had a significant impact on your family dynamic, and it's possible that your sister may have felt neglected or left out during that time. However, it's also understandable that you wanted to spend time with her and that your parents may have felt that they were doing what was best for you at the time. It's admirable that you want to rekindle your relationship with your sister, and it's good that you took the initiative to try to reach out to her. However, it's also important to respect her boundaries and feelings. It's possible that she is still working through some of the hurt and resentment that she may have felt during the time when you were sick, and it may take time for her to be ready to reconnect with you. Moving forward, it may be helpful to focus on building a positive relationship with your sister based on mutual respect and understanding. This could involve listening to her feelings and concerns, apologizing for any past actions that may have hurt her, and working together to find common ground and shared interests. It's also important to recognize that rebuilding trust takes time and effort, and that it may not happen overnight. Story 2. I, 29 female, started working at a new company 8 months ago. I was headhunted specifically for the role I have, which gave me enough power to negotiate my contract like I wanted. One of the things I managed to get was a clause that prohibited my employer from contacting me outside work hours. If it is a true emergency, then they can send me an email. Otherwise, they can't even send me a text. Furthermore, I have a separate work phone that I shut down at 5 on the dot, then turn on at 9 a.m. Another thing is that I don't work overtime. I am very efficient, so my work is done by 3 p.m. or 5 if we have an emergency. I also take my whole lunch break outside the office, and my coffee breaks away from my desk. My co-workers are not the same. They tend to socialize during work hours and have work left for afterwards. They sometimes ask me to help, but I always decline by saying that I have plans. I don't go into details. I just say that I have plans. These plans are 99% of the time, just include going home, reading books, or sleeping. But that is my personal time. Monday, a co-worker asked me if I could stay a bit later to help her out. Apparently, she was late with some essential work, but had to be done by that night, because she had to attend her daughter's recital at 6. I said that I was sorry, but that I had plans. It was a nice day, so instead of going home, I just went to a park to read while breathing some fresh air, brought some fruit and bubble tea, and made a picnic out of it. My co-worker found me there, and she was pissed. She said that I could have helped her if I didn't have plans. I said that I do have plans. This impromptu picnic. She said that it wasn't as important as her daughter's recital. So I said that for me, it was even more important than her daughter's recital. She called me a fool, and some of my friends agree. So, am I the fool? To me, it seems that the person was not a fool for prioritizing their personal time and boundaries. They negotiated their contract to have clear boundaries around their work hours, and they have been efficient in completing their work during those hours. They have the right to spend their personal time as they see fit and are not obligated to help their co-worker, especially since they have declined to help before. It's understandable that the co-worker may have been frustrated, but it's not fair to call someone a fool for prioritizing their own personal time and boundaries. How do you feel about this story? Let me know in the comments. Story 3. Am I the fool for making my daughter and her wife sleep in different rooms? I am asking here because a friend told me to. My daughter, 31 female, her wife, 33 female, and their son, 5 male, live in a different state. I, 60 female, am always the one who goes to visit them in their house because of my daughter-in-law's busy work schedule. My daughter said she wanted to come and see me and her old friends with her family. They are currently renovating their house. They have a house in our city and usually stay there when they rarely do come over, and my daughter asked me if they could stay with me. I said of course. When they arrived, I mentioned I had prepared each of them a different room, one for my daughter, one for daughter-in-law, and one for my grandson. My daughter said I was being unreasonable and that she wanted to sleep in the same room as her wife. I said I made her brother and his wife do the same thing when they visited, and they never complained. My daughter told my daughter-in-law to arrange for a hotel. I was really hurt by her decision and said I hoped she'd just stay, and it was a few days. She said she hadn't slept apart from her wife for the past 9 years and wasn't going to start doing that now. They left and stayed at the hotel. My daughter is still kind of cold to me, and my friends think I acted like a fool. Was I the fool? In my opinion, the person making their daughter and daughter-in-law sleep in separate rooms is the fool. They are essentially disregarding daughter-in-law's relationship and are being insensitive to their needs and preferences. The fact that their daughter had not slept apart from her wife in 9 years, and the fact that they are married shows that they are committed to each other and wish to be together. The daughter's request was not unreasonable, and the parent should have been more accommodating to their daughter's wishes. By insisting on separate rooms, the parent caused unnecessary hurt and tension in the relationship with their daughter and daughter-in-law.